Hello, everybody. Bill Thornton, SoCal Saber. Thanks for stopping by this week. It is Saturday, and we're going to be doing the review, the weekly review of all of the music that I listen to. But I'm also going to, after in a little bit, I'm going to ask you a question that I would appreciate some feedback on. Well, anyway, started off this week with a 1984 LP by Missing Persons called Rhyme and Reason. Got this on Whatnot. I bid on it specifically because for some reason I thought I would probably like it because I like some of the other music that I have. You know, I only have to. This is only the second LP I have in the collection, and it was their second studio album. It does have a name around it. Let's take a little look. But unfortunately for them, the album was received with very critical reception and quickly fell off the sales charts. Let's do it. Despite having a successful world tour, I'm sure their other album kind of helped sell the world tour some bit. But the tour was successful, but album sales was not. Go figure that out. And here's a quote from the Omaha World Herald. Concluded, Missing Persons continues to show why it is one of the worst of the trendy Los Angeles new wave bands. Well, since I don't know all of them, I can't really say that it's the worst. So that's too bad because I think they had the right track going there for a while. But on this one here, I found the music itself to be very repetitive, very repetitive. The instrumentation and the music, very repetitive, and that turned me off, honestly. And so for this week, I can only give Rhyme and Reason by Missing Persons an F for fair. This was their 1984 second LP. Okay, this is where I normally ask you to go down there and hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Please do those things. But what, as it said on the thumbnail, it says, what can I do? I would appreciate any and all comments, feedback, and why you think this channel does not grow anymore or isn't growing. Or what can I do to make it more appealing to the viewers? And so we reached 50. I guess excited 2 weeks ago we reached 50, but we went back down to 49 subscribers. So anyway, do all of those good things and provide me some feedback, and I'll appreciate it. I love hearing from all of you. Let me know what music you listen to this week. Do you have any of these albums I'm talking about? Okay, next. This was another Whatnot bid. This is the let me get my note up here for it. The 1976 LP Greatest Stories Live by Harry Chapin. The original LP release featured 3 new studio tracks, 2 of which, She's Always 17 and Love Is Another Word, were excluded from the CD release. But She's Always 17 that's on here, so this must be the original one, right? And this album is noted for its extended version of 30,000 Pounds of Bananas. Kind of tough to see. Trying to get it so you can see everything. The other thing that happened with the album is, which became famous and grew into a quote that became very popular with them. We got a paper bag that we don't use anymore. when he asked his brother, and said, hey, he says, how do you like this song? 30,000 pounds of bananas. And his brother's reply was, Harry, it sucks. Well, that quote grew into T-shirts and all kinds. They were concert shirt, T-shirts, and everything into those. It's played very, very nicely. I've always liked Harry Chapin's storytelling concept or style of, this is a double album. I won't show you the second one, but it is a double. You know, style of singing that. And see, let's see, some of these that you can remember. Cats in the Cradle. Okay, you can remember that one? Taxi. Another great one. All these, there's a lot of good songs on here that I had never heard before, which I'm so glad that I now have in the collection. There's the track list. So, Harry Chapin, Stories Live from 1976. Gets a G+ for the week. Nice addition to the collection. All right, now we're going to get to, this was the last 2026 Record Store Day pickup that I got. And it was double LP, and it's from the, what is it called? Summer in the City concert, live in San Francisco. What did I say the year was on that? Did I say 1979? I have 4 LPs in the collection by the Ramones. So I guess I do like them. This is one of my favorite punk bands. There's no inner on this one because Record Store Day, they cut down a little bit of money on that. They are often credited as being the true first punk band. Let's show you, it's on a nice pink vinyl. The Ramones. So live in San Francisco, the 1979 LP that was released on Record Store Day 2026 is getting a G+. Oh, what this says. I think this says something like that. It says it's the first official release, okay, of this album. So there was probably bootlegs and ones like this, but this is the first of on Record Store 2026. So live in San Francisco from the Summer in the City concerts by the Ramones gets a G+ from me. Nice addition to the collection. Do you like punk music? If so, what's your favorite punk artist? I don't know if I can say my favorite, but Ramones is probably there. But, you know, I like the Clash and like all some other things going on there too. So now it's time we're going to do a check of the CD collection. The first one we pulled out is a 1995 album by Peter Frampton. Frampton Comes Alive 2. I have 3 LPs and 2 CDs in my collection by Mr. Frampton. Great guitar work. Great guitar. This was the second live album published in 1995, and it is a sequel to his 1976 multi-platinum Frampton Comes Alive. Probably everybody owns that one. I do own that one on the album side too. You know, despite the opening remarks was given by a gentleman named Jerry Pompey. Despite his optimistic announcing of the concert, introductory remarks, the album did not obtain commercial success. It reached, what we got going here? Reached number 121 on the UK albums chart. It did not chart in the United States. You know, I do not know why. And I probably bought this because of his big Frampton Comes Alive one, but I'm glad that I did. Okay? Because this was a pretty good album. This was a pretty darn good album by Frampton. And it gave me the opportunity to hear some songs I have never heard him play before, which was this. And it gave me a fresh look at Peter Frampton. So I'm glad that I did pick it up. Maybe I'm the only one since it didn't have any commercial success, but I know probably more than me bought it. But that's was really a shame. And so I'm going to give it. Here's the back. I'm going to give Frampton Comes Alive 2 from 1995 a G+ for the week. I heard some good music this week, except for that opening one. Everything's been pretty solid. All right, next we're going to, the next CD is another 1995 one. And this is by Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band and called It's a Mystery. He gave credits to the Silver Bullet Band up there, like you can see, but they had very little input on the album. That was kind of strange. This is the 15th studio album by the American singer and songwriter. The early 80s, I saw him down in LA at the Forum when he was a lot younger. Really good concert. I got really, really too drunk. Drank too much. But I do remember the concert. Okay, come on out of here, Buck. You know, despite his hit singles and fan favorites such as Lock and Load, Manhattan, and Hands in the Air, the album charted number 27 on the Billboard chart. And it says despite, and I don't understand that. I quoted that specifically. It says, this was Seger's lowest chart position since 1976 Live Bullet, which charted at number 34 on the Billboard. So despite, but it's got a lower number, means that it's actually charted higher. So go figure. I should have spotted that when I was first making notes. This was the last album he made before taking a hiatus from the music industry to be with his family. Said this was 1995, and he returned in 2006 with the album Face the Promise. I enjoyed almost all of the songs on this Seger 1995 album. It's a mystery, and I'm going to give this one a G+ also. Okay, this is where I go in and I pull them out of the album collection that have been in there for a long time. I don't know what's coming. I don't look ahead of time. I don't know what's coming. But I was very happy when this one was the next one. This is the 1979 album by Supertramp Breakfast in America. What a dynamite album. What a dynamite album. I have 3 LPs and 2 CDs in the collection by Supertramp. I like them a lot. I should have more. Maybe I will in the future. This is original bought by me. Still in really, really good shape. It spawned 3 U.S. Billboard Hot 100 singles. Kind of hard to read the soundtracks on this one because there's so little. The singles were The Logical Song, number 6, Goodbye Stranger, number 15, and Take the Long Way Home, number 10. In the UK, The Logical Song and title track were both top 10 hits, the only 2 the group had in their native country. This one really, this whole album, wow. See, at the 22nd Annual Grammy Awards in 1980, Breakfast in America won 2 awards for Best Album Package and Best Engineering Non-Classical Record, as well as nominations for Album of the Year and Best Performance by a Duo or Group. And at that time, it became Supertramp's best-selling album, being certified 4 times platinum. Sold more than 4 million copies in the U.S., where it was number 1 on the Billboard 200 chart for 6 weeks. That is tough. That is really, really good stuff. The original concept for the album that I read this now, was songs about the relationship between the two, between Davis and Hodges themselves, to be titled Hello Stranger. They later talked about it a little more, and it became songs about, they didn't want to be about themselves. It was going to be songs about fun songs. And so that's why they come up with all of these tracks as Fun Songs album. And all these tracks, a lot of people thought that this was a album against the United States. It really wasn't. They just like Goodbye Stranger, Going to Hollywood, and all of that was just fun songs that they put on there. And this, very well, first of all, Supertramp, it's got to be in my top 5 groups. Don't know where. But this album could fight for my favorite album spot ever. So I'm giving this a BG plus for the week. Breakfast in America by Supertramp. Do you have it? Do you like it? What do you think of them? All right, one more album to go this week. This is a 1980 album by the man from England, Elton John. I have 10 LPs, 7 CDs, and a 4 CD box set by Elton John in my collections. Pretty good, huh? Must be a fan, this Bill guy. We got some lyrics. And then we don't, it's just a blank inner that we don't use anymore. This was the 14th studio album by Elton John. And the title, 21 at 33, was taken because this was his 21st overall release at the age of 33. And the album was a moderate success, reaching number 20 on both the U.S. Billboard 200 and the UK albums charts, and proving far more successful than the previous album, Victims of Love, which to me was like his wanting to get into disco, but it didn't work too well. The leading single, Little Genie, great song, peaked at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, while it stalled at number 33 on the UK singles chart. Critical reception was relatively warm, and although some criticized the record as being inconsistent in tracking and lacking cohesion. What does lacking cohesion mean? Does that mean that particular writer, always wants a concept album? Does every album have to have a cohesion, a concept? I don't know. What do you think about that out there? I don't know. This was after the previous album, Blue Moons. Bernie Taupin and Elton John had parted ways for a while. In this album here, they collaborated on 3 of the songs, which was the start of the beginning of their reunion, so forth. I really liked a couple of the songs. Let me see what we got here. We got Little Genie, of course, I liked. 2 Rooms at the End of the World. I like that one also. Little Genie wasn't written by Taupin and John, but Little 2 Rooms at the End of the World was. And then there's one on the backside that I kind of like. And when I looked it up, I thought it was what it was going to be about. It's White Lady, White Powder, written by Taupin. And he gave it to Elton John, and Elton John knew that sometimes Taupin just gave him lyrics criticizing himself, Elton, in that. And so he says, there it was, in there. He says, so I'm going to try to sing it like it's about somebody else. It probably was about me. And anyway, that was it's a pretty good album. All right. And I can go G+ for this on the week. Yeah. And so it's time of that week where I go back and I look at to pick the 2 that were my favorites of the week. Of course, Breakfast in America has got to be my number 1 pick. All right. That's the only VG+. It's the only thing that was above a G+ this whole week. So that made picking the other stuff pretty tough. You know, I was going to go with Great Stories Live. And I thought about that for a while, and I thought, well, maybe It's a Mystery by Bob Seger, because that was a good album. Whether people liked it or not, it was a good album. But in the end, because of his great career, I picked 21 to 33 by Elton John. But there's the second one. Any of the other ones, except for the first album, could have been the second pick. So, want to thank you for stopping by. Don't forget my question. Take care of yourselves out there. Be kind to each other and stay safe.